In this video tutorial we will be discussing about arrays, one of the most used data structures in programming. Considering about the understandability, we will be discussing the topic in very simple way so even a person new to the programming can gain some knowledge about the arrays and their usage. In this video we will be discussing about arrays, their uses, how they will be implemented, types of arrays, array operations, array-based advanced data structures and common programming mistakes made when using arrays. Array can be formally defined as a data structure for grouping related data items which are of the same data type under a common name. Although this is a valid definition for arrays, you may find some occasions in some programming languages where this definition is violated. But for now we will go with this definition. If you are a programmer or if you will find this definition simple enough, but if you are not, this may sound Greek to you, so let me explain in a simple manner. Let's say you have a bucket of apples. Although they are in a bucket, it is difficult for us to compare or identify each apple individually or find the apple of particular size. But if you put them in a container, where you can access each of them individually, and give each a label for identification, above things will be really easy and simple. That's what actually arrays do. They group same type of variables together and give identities for each of them for identification. Hope now things are clear enough to you. Now let's talk why arrays are used. One of the prime uses of arrays is to group related data items so the comparison and other operations on those data are easy, rather than storing them as separate elements. Arrays are also used as a platform for building more complex and advanced data structures. Some of these data structures will be discussed later in this video. Array declaration. Before we use the array in programming language, we have to declare it before it is used. The method and syntax of array declaration may differ according to the programming language you use. Again, if you are not associated with programming, you may wonder what the hell you mean by declaring an array. Wait, I will explain. Declaration is kind of introduction you made to a computer program about an array. It is very similar to real-world situation of introducing people where we tell details about another person and make them familiar with each other. When declaring an array, we have to reveal three details about the array to the computer program. They are type, name and the size of array. Depending on the programming language syntax and the order which these attributes have to be declared may differ. Let's talk about type of an array. In the type we specify what type of data we are going to store on the array. Normally it is a primitive data type which is supported by the language. But advanced languages like Java provides facilities to store even user-defined data types. Name of an array, similar to a name of a person, is used for identification and reference. Generally we can use any names which are according to the language rules. Sizes on an array determines the capacity of an array and declares the maximum number of elements which can be stored on the array. Some scripting languages even allow users to store different types of values on single arrays. But normally, you can store one single type of values on an array. According to the when you declare the size of array, there are two categories of arrays. One is static arrays, and other is dynamic arrays. arrays which you know the size at compile time are called static arrays. Normally static arrays are ones which have the size declared in code. Arrays which we declare the size at runtime are called dynamic arrays. Normally array size is not declared as a numeric value in program, and it is taken as user input. Array initialization. Normally when array is created, the elements are assigned garbage values, or default values by the compiler until user intended values are stored them. These values are not user-defined, and they should not be allowed to store on the array, since it can cause unanticipated situations. Method to deal with this is array initialization. Therefore, the process of assigning meaningful initial values to the array elements is called array initialization. We can initialize the array during declaration, or using for loop. Syntax for doing that in modern programming languages is shown in the slide. Array index is an integer, which used to identify individual array elements and access those elements directly. Array index can be thought of as the identity of an array element. By specifying index with array name, we can access the array elements. There are three main array indexing techniques. First one is zero-based array indexing, where we start indexing array elements from number 0,